Doesn't look exactly the kind of blue that's advertised on the card art. But who cares? I think the car looks great. The card looks great. I think the entire set looks great. We're going to come to that, but all you BMW, Hot Wheels, diecast collectors out there, rejoice, because I think this is one awesome set. It's something that I think is better than some of the more premium stuff that Hot Wheels has done in recent times. This is definitely a must get. So let's dive into the details. Let's start with this. So like I said, this is the BMW M Set, and the M for BMW began with this car. It's the M1. It began back in the 70s. M essentially came from BMW's dream of wanting to provide that motorsport performance on the road. And this car was born. In the early 70s, they got a French designer to do the concept, but later, by 77, this marvel in its production spec avatar came out. This was designed by Giugiaro, a great Italian designer known for other cars like the Golf, even the Passat, the Jetta, and the Scirocco of those times, the Lotus Esprit, some of the Ferraris, some of the Lamborghinis. But that said, while he knew what he was doing with the design, he probably didn't know what he was giving birth to. Because while this vehicle may not have a true blue successor in today's times, it did give birth to the M lineage that we know of today. Interestingly, Hot Wheels was building the BMW M1 from the early 80s, 1983 to be precise. So it's had quite a few iterations in BMW's lineup, and this one I think looks really, really nice. That plain metallic orange looks quite good. No decals on it, no deco on it. It looks quite nice. The venting on the back properly done, the venting on the sides properly done. The wheels arguably could have been better, but overall the details look quite nice. And you also get the tiny BMW logo on the hood. The BMW kidney grille on the M1 was pretty iconic as well, and that has been very nicely executed. It had those pop-up headlights, of course, which look gorgeous on the real car. And here with this card art, it's got those proper retro vibes, perfect for a car of this order. It's even got that front splitter, very nicely done indeed. And if you look at the bottom, it says copyright 1992, 2011 Mattel, because like I said, they have been producing this, refining that design for quite a while now. And this here is the latest iteration of it. And another design feature apart from that M1 logo was the presence of the BMW roundels or the BMW logo above each tail light. So you see that on the right, and you will also see that on the left. And even that has quite nicely been replicated on this one. This was a mid-engine marvel. This was a proper sports car. And then probably someone at BMW thought, well, it is a sports car. It looks great. It performs quite nicely. So why don't we make this the halo and then start creating what we actually started out with? Make motorsport performance accessible for the road. And hence was born the BMW M3. And this, I think, is going to be the most sought after model in this particular set. Now, Hot Wheels has done other BMW M3s as well, but they chose this one, the original, the E30, to be a part of this set, and I'm so glad they did it. And look at all the details. That white color, oh my god, it just looks beautiful. The headlights are painted, the tail lights are painted, all the details are right there, and then those M colors, oh my god, it's so gorgeous, isn't it? Just imagine they went from this sharp looking Giugiaro design to something as boxy as this with the M3. And it's a benchmark even today. Those boxy fenders, that boxy silhouette, something that is admired even today. And as a diecast collector, you might want to just collect all the iterations that you can find of the E30 M3, whether it's Hot Wheels or any other brand. Front end graphics, again, very nicely done. It's a very subtle treatment. You get that black lining on the hood, the black stripe on the hood, then you get the black stripe on the side, and those iconic BMW M colors. That tricolor just looks gorgeous. Even the BMW M3 logos right next to the headlights on that grille and right below the spoiler. So nicely executed. I mean, come on, this is a Hot Wheels silver line. And the card art, just gorgeous. Something that deserves to be printed out as a poster and put back on those walls. Or at least make it the wallpaper of your phone. Beautiful stuff. 3 Series sedan with motorsport levels of performance. Imagine, back in its day, it was an absolute hoot. It was accessible, it was compact, it was lightweight, and it was very, very powerful. Even by today's standards, it is just amazing. And I'm so glad Hot Wheels decided to choose the E30 because you see, Hot Wheels has done other M3s in their lineup, but they chose the E30 for this particular set. And they've gone with a really good looking paint job as well. Who can disagree with a white? With those M colors on it, I think it just stands out. This is going to be the most sought after car from this set, is what I believe. Now, this set is going to have 2 of each cars if you buy the whole box, which means that Hot Wheels isn't exactly making any of these cars a particular chase piece, but off the pegs, this is going to fly quicker than anything else. As quick probably as the car was in its heyday. And then we come to the next one in the chronology, the 5. The M5. They took the 5 Series, a business sedan, and threw M performance at it. I think for its time, it was the best all-rounder, or maybe even by today's performance car standards or sleeper car standards, it is definitely an all-rounder. It had a V8 engine. It had those business sedan looks. They've gone with a very simple businessy grey color, and they've put those M colors in a very subtle manner on it, not as loud as some of the other cars from this set. Again, the headlights, the tail lights, very nicely defined. And I think this is going to be the second most sought after set. But if you are going to be getting this set, and if you're going to uncard these cars, if you're going to put them in a diorama or in your display or something, I would also suggest getting the white BMW M5 from the new Boulevard series. I think that will complement this car really, really well, and also that M3 because they are sort of from the same era and they will look good together in your display. What a gorgeous looking car. I think this had the best kidney grille designs of all time. The yellow lights, so nicely done on this. I think that instantly adds a lot of appeal. And like I said, those kidney grills on this one of the best on any BMW. In fact, it has raised our expectations so much that the moment BMW messes it up or changes anything, we think it's messed up. M5 logo a little too big for my liking on the rear, but those exhausts very nicely done. You get the quad exhaust pipes on this, a Hot Wheels logo on the side, BMW M5 E39 badging as the registration plate, and that subtle spoiler at the back. So very nicely done. Clean straight lines, that is what defined this era. And just the right hint of curves to make this an absolute legendary design. One of my favorite BMW M5s of all time. In fact, I'm going to say this is the best BMW M5 ever built. Do you agree or not? Let me know in the comments. Then we move on to the BMW M2. All the attributes that made the original M3 an absolutely sought after car hold true for the new generation of the M2 as well. This is the first generation of the M2. Mind you, the new generation is already available in India in a manual transmission. Long live the manual. But this one is the one that brought back that drama, brought back all that action from the original M3. It was compact, very powerful, and an absolute hoot to drive. And it was rear wheel driven. Despite its compact dimensions, it didn't go front wheel drive like some of the other entry level BMWs. It was still a rear wheel driven car. And they've gone with a plain paint job here. Instead of that yellow, which looks more like the new M4 or the M3 for that matter, I think they should have gone with a red on this one. That would have made it look gorgeous. But let me know your thoughts on that. It's such a hooligan. Short wheelbase, wide stance, and a lot of tail happy fun. In fact, I think Hot Wheels should have just thrown in an Easter egg. Instead of just replicating the card art that they've done on the other cars from this set, they should have simply added a proper opposite lock on this particular M2. That would have just been an awesome Easter egg. and it would have replicated what the M2 stands for so nicely. Now the M2 has that kink in the headlight that you can also see in the card art, and that you see here in the model as well. Again, proportionate kidney grille, detailing of the bumper quite nicely done right beneath the headlight. Mirrors quite nicely executed too, they are not too tiny. And the tail lights. So this had a very different design approach compared to the other BMW designs of that time. That M2 tail light really stood out, and that happens right here as well. Subtle M2 badging and the shotgun exhaust down below. I think a little more definition for the rear bumper, just the way they did in the front, would have been a nicer touch. You also have that tiny shark fin antenna on top, which again adds to the drama, to the detail, and that M Performance banner on the windscreen, nicely executed too. And the gold has a lot of metallic flakes in it. It's not as much of a yellow as you see on the card art. This is more of a goldenish yellow, very much like the M4 when it debuted, the signature color of the M4 when it debuted. But overall, I think it looks quite nice. The plain color may appeal to some. The card art looks quite nice too. But for me, out of the 5, this is going to be the 4th pick. And then we finally come to the car we started with. This is the BMW M4, the first generation of it. This is of course the coupe format, which means this is the F82. Now again, an absolute hoot to drive. Something that you may actually get your hands on if you have not driven any of these M cars, because this is fairly modern and this was sold in decent numbers even in the Indian market. But coming back to the scale model, like I said, the blue doesn't really match the blue on the card art. That one is much lighter, and I've seen similar colors that I think they should have gone with, not such a dark color scheme, but it definitely highlights the BMW M colors quite nicely. It's a very, very good base for those BMW M colors, and that coupe shape, I think that also comes out quite nicely when you look at the car from close quarters. But if you leave it in the blister, that shape isn't evident, and that's all down to the color and the loud graphics. I love the wheels on this, very nicely done, and I really hoped that they went with the current generation M4. For once, I'm going to say that that massive grille would have looked nice, or rather I would have liked to see what Hot Wheels does with that massive grille when they scale it down to a 1/64. Really was hoping to see that, but what we get is the F82 M4. Tail lights quite nicely done too. M4 badging coming through, and a lot of glint in that blue color. So like I said, it doesn't match the card art, but a lot of glint in that blue color. And then you get the Hot Wheels logo right below the wing mirrors, and those wheels. I'm really liking those wheels. If you uncard it, you're going to have a great time photographing it in your dioramas, in your displays, etc., because it does look great from most of the angles. The prettiest angle for me, however, is still going to be the front 3/4. But let me know what are your opinions on this. Out of the 5, this is going to be pick number 5 for me. These are BMW silver lines, of course, which means they are not metal on metal, neither do they get rubber tires. But the definition on the M5 and the M3 for the bottom side is quite nice. However, for the M1, the M2 and the M4, it's pretty plain. So if I were to sum it all up, pick number 1 is obviously going to be the M3. Pick number 2 is going to be the M1. I like the single color that they've done on it, or the plain color that they've done on it. And for all you customizers out there, one good challenge for you would be to try and replicate the BMW M art car. Look it up. It's a beautiful looking car, and it was done by Andy Warhol, and that would make for an excellent custom project. So this can be the perfect base for it. So if you can, definitely give that a try. But this is going to be pick number 2 for me. Pick number 3 is going to be the BMW M5, followed by the BMW M2, and then of course the BMW M4. So this is a part of the silver line set, but like I said, I think it looks better than some of the more premium stuff that Hot Wheels has created. But let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. If you think that this BMW set deserves some other BMW M car apart from the ones, or maybe a different generation, Let me know what that is. You know where to debate it. You know where to start the discussion. That's the comment section below. So please do that. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching this one. And don't forget to tell me what is your favorite BMW M car in the real world. And have you driven one? If yes, what was your experience like? Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, take care and drive safe. Happy collecting.